Hey there, good people. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Brad Miller, here on the All in Johnson County podcast. Today we have a special treat for you. We're talking about the Rock the Block Run with one of the founders of the Rock the Block Run, Erin Pennington. And we're going to be getting into her conversation here in just a minute. We did want you to know that if you want to know more about the Rock the Block Run, you can go to rocktheblockrun.org. That's happening April 27th. If you'd like to know more about the All in Johnson County podcast, that's at allinjohnsoncounty.com, where the podcast, which is all about lifting up and celebrating the people and the places and the events happening in Johnson County, Indiana. It helps us so much if you subscribe and like the podcast and to share the good news about this podcast with your friends. We hope that you join us with every episode as we celebrate everything good about Johnson County. So right now, let's get into our conversation with Erin Pennington, one of the founders of Rock the Block Run. Hello, good people. Welcome again to this episode of the All in Johnson County podcast, where we'd like to lift up the people and the places and the events happening in Johnson County, Indiana. And we have an event coming up very soon, which has become very popular over the last several years, and it benefits a number of local charities, and it is the Rock the Block Run. And we have Erin Pennington with us, who is one of the chief organizers of the Rock the Block Run. Erin, welcome to our conversation here today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, tell us, Rock the Block Run, that says a little bit about it, but tell us a little bit about yourself and how you and your partner got this started. What was the genesis? How did the Rock the Block Run get going? And then we'll talk a minute from now who it's for.
Sure. So really, Rock the Block Run was something that came to mind when we wanted to do something to give back to our Center Grove community. And Susan has children and grandchildren who've gone through Center Grove school system, and I've had both of my kids go through the Center Grove school system. And we just wanted to figure out a way, how do we give back? There was no races happening in Johnson County that were more than a 5K. So we kind of got the idea to do a 5K, 10K, and then obviously a free kids run we added, just so that it was a way to support health, support families, to make memories, have good music, and just be kind of a half a day of fun. You know, we get started really early in the morning and everything's kind of over with by noon. So it's great for busy families. And we have everything from parents walking with wagons with kids in them to, it is a run route that is, I'm not sure the exact terminology, but Tuxedo Brothers actually runs the race. They do all the timing. And so if you are a serious runner, it is a measured race so that it really is a 3.1 and it really is,
So there's a little bit for
10K.
There's a fun aspect to it, but it sounds like there's also a little bit of opportunity for those who are a little more competitive. Is that right?
That's right. And we do award the best finisher, male and female, in the 5K and the 10K.
Awesome. Are you a runner yourself, Erin?
I am. I've only run Rock the Block one time, and it partially is just there's too many moving parts most race days, and so I've got to be kind of on the ready.
Sure.
So running it is not necessarily something I get to do every time.
Well, when you're the organizer or something, you don't always get to participate in all the fun of it because you're taking care of whatever details are going on that day, right? So there we go.
Right.
I've run big events before, so I know exactly what you mean. But it sounds like there's going to be things. Well, tell us again the dates and the times, how people can register and things of that nature.
Sure. Registration is out on our website at rocktheblockrun.org. As soon as you pull that up, you'll see a button to click register online, and you can register in individual, or there's also a group registration rate where you get $2 off. if you register 3 or more people at one time. When you go in to register, you'll fill out all your normal stuff, but then we have something that's kind of special for Rock the Block. You're going to see a charity drop down menu where it says, I want to support X charity, and you get to pick which one you want to do. There's 18 to choose from this year. And every registration that those charities receive counts towards getting larger grant dollars the day of the race. So it's kind of a competition, which makes it a little bit different. We have a Center Grove bracket and we have a Johnson County bracket. And so whoever gets first place in those will win the most grant dollars, second place, third place, et cetera, as it goes on. Our 5K starts at 9 a.m. and has anywhere from 800 to 1,000 folks participating. And then our 10K starts just a little bit earlier at 8:35. And we usually have anywhere from 200 to 400 runners for that particular race. And the kids run starts at about 10 o'clock.
Okay. And the date and the place. Tell us that, please.
Right. It's this next Saturday, April the 27th, and it'll be at Center Grove High School.
Very good. And what's the registration fee for this?
Right now, the registration fee is $35, and on the day of the race, it will be $40. But you can register online all the way up to midnight on the 26th for $35.
And I see I'm not sure if people can get it the day of, but there's a few perks, some T-shirts and things like that you get, and other things that happen, right?
Yes. Yeah, we always have an event day T-shirt, and those are pretty popular. They're nice runner shirts. They're long sleeve, and yeah, we have people that collect them, as a matter of fact. So that's always fun to see all the different colors.
I've seen them around in our community quite a bit, really, to be honest with you, especially people who are participants in there. Tell me a little bit about how the motivation came to be these charities. You mentioned 18 charities. Maybe you could tell us a bit of what is motivated about making this a charitable event, and maybe you could tell us about maybe a couple of the charities.
Sure. So I think, initially we want to give a hand up, not a hand out. And so by having the charities come together, by them being vested, they help bring in volunteers to help us run the race. It takes over 100 volunteers in order to make this race come off without a hitch. So they have to sign up 20 runners and walkers and 5 volunteers from January to February. And that's how we are able to make the race happen from a boots on the ground perspective. And really a lot through, Susan and I have owned Spotlight Strategies for a long time. We've learned a lot the hard way, from a business perspective about how to connect with your supporters, how to raise funds. I love to fundraise. And so there's just a lot of teaching that happens and or suggestions that we give to the charities to interact with their supporters. And then, in return, they get more registrations. And so there's a learning component, but then, we make it fun. And, it's during March Madness. So usually I send out an email every single week of March, about where everybody's at in their bracket. And they are able to use that information to then post on social media or email their supporters. And we've had some folks literally who've been with us all 9 years. One of them is the cross country, Center Grove cross country team.
Okay.
Their coach, Howard Harrell, actually helps us run the registration. And it winds up, he does it kind of as a team building event for the cross country families. And so they all kind of get together and they all run the registration. And there's multiple shifts. And we actually have packet pickup that happens on Friday afternoon if you want to beat the rush on Saturday morning. And Howard kind of leads up all of those folks. But again, he uses that. They win grant dollars, but then, it's just a way to gel all the parents that year for the track team. So that's
Sure.
really kind of cool.
And it sounds like it's a good way for people in the community and even entities like the track team at the high school to give back, to do something beneficial for our community. Is that a part of the spirit of this whole thing?
Absolutely. And then I would say, in the Johnson County bracket, one of the things that we've always tried to do is try to help make our community better. And sometimes we do that through beautification projects. And one of the most notable ones that we've done is the roundabout at Whiteland Road and 144. So that
Okay.
was a project that came out of, so it's really nice looking, but we were going around that roundabout multiple times a day sometimes and thinking, this is just there's so many people passing by here and we could definitely do this. And so that wound up turning in, it was a 2-year project, but it was a public-private partnership that we worked with the county. We donated about $10,000, and then we had other private folks come in to say, okay, we'll donate the mulch, we'll donate the plants. Well, it was a really great thing to see all of that gel and come together. So Johnson County Trails is participating again this year, and so we hope that money's given to them. Again, we'll just go out to
Sure.
beautify some part of our community.
So, and Johnson County Trails is just one of a number of charities which are a benefactor or beneficiary
Correct.
of this event, and it sounds like it's well run and well put together. And but tell me a story, Erin, about somebody who had just a good experience. Maybe they were either a person running, or maybe one of the charities who, when they came to be a part of this, maybe they were just they didn't really know what it was about, and they came out saying, "This is really cool, and it's made a difference for me." Do you have any stories like that?
Yeah, I actually have a few. So early on, we had someone come to us, and they used this 5K to really connect with their kids. They had some middle schoolers, and they were like, "Look, as a family, we're going to make a goal, and we're going to do this together." And so, you have to kind of practice to be able to make it 3.1 miles,
Yeah.
especially if you're running. And it was between a mom and son, and it was just a great way to connect. It even
That's
makes me
wonderful.
emotional talking about it because,
Oh, isn't that cool?
it's been 8 years now, and I still, every single year I still get this mom who says, we're coming, we're going to be back there
Oh,
again this
so it's
year,
been an
we're out of
ongoing
town.
thing. Wow, that's
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so again, we had no idea that you could impact uh, something, like that. That's so personal and meaningful. And even though that might have just impacted two people's lives, I'm sure there are more and more stories like that. We have a group of three gentlemen who don't live in the area anymore that usually come back every year, and this is
Okay.
kind of like their reunion. And so they kind of joke each other because I think they're all over 40 now, but they kind of joke about, can we still do it? Can we still do the 5K and be alive at the end? But again, it's just one of those things where that's kind of their thing that they come back and do. And I think there's other times where when we get new charities who find out about us and say, "Oh my gosh, can I participate?" And the qualifications for a charity to participate is you need to be helping families and children primarily in Johnson County, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's we don't put any other stipulations on the grant. We do ask that you tell us what you're doing with the funds, and we do reach back out, and that we
Yeah.
use that in
Sort of
our,
accountability, sort of a thing, I assume.
yeah, that, and then in marketing, just like you're
Oh,
asking me about, how
sure.
did I use something, and so that's been great for us
Yeah.
to again help people understand the tangible results of
Sure.
what those grant dollars can do. Um, so
That's
yeah,
that.
there's
Sound like
I'm
this
sure
is
there's more and more stories.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool event. It impacts people. It transforms lives in some cool ways. Also, I heard you got
Yeah.
some food and you got some music and other things going on. It's not just run. There's other things to enjoy, right?
So I do want to talk about a couple of our all of our food sponsors, because basically they come out, they have no idea if it's going to rain or shine, and we do ask them to donate something back to the event in some way. We don't charge them to be there, any of our food vendors, and we have just been so lucky. We have Sweet Escape Cake Company that's coming back. It's I don't know, they've been coming many years. It's a great time for them because they do a lot of graduation type events, and so it's perfect for them. They give away samples, and then you can actually buy cake pops and cookies and all of that after the event. And then we have Big B Coffee. They've been with us for the last 3 years. This will be their third year, I think. And they just give out free coffee samples, and they give out coupons for free coffee to everybody that's coming across the finish line, which is kind of cool. We also have Chick-fil-A who is supporting us this year. So
Wow.
every single registrant is going to get a free chicken sandwich. They'll pick up their
There you go.
cards when they register. And if you have a kid participating in the kids run, every child that participates in the kids run will have a free kids meal from Chick-fil-A. So that's a pretty big
Man,
deal.
that's not a bad deal at all. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like you have a heart for serving the community. It's not only involved with this event, but you're kind of have this heart to your business and what you're about has this heart for the Center Grove and the Johnson County community. And say a word about that
Yeah.
before we close this down.
Well, to be honest, Spotlight Strategies, we kind of have a culture statement, and we just want to help businesses and people prosper. So we do that in everything that we do when it comes to our company, Spotlight Strategies, and then anything else that we get involved in. So, this is definitely right. It aligns completely with our mission statement and our culture, which is to help businesses and people prosper. So we have a lot of booth vendors that come out to meet all of the 1,000+ people that are coming, and then again the charity piece. We're the lessons that get learned, and the mentoring that we get to do when it comes to fundraising is also
It's a good thing.
fills us up too.
Sound a good thing, a lot of fun. I've heard about it for years. I might check it out this year. So there we go. Well, tell us one more time about the website. Now, give us your Spotlight Strategies website too, so people can understand about your business there. But give us your website for this event and for your company, and the dates and the times and the details one more time.
Sure. So Rock the Block Run is going to be happening on April the 27th. Get there around 7:30 to kind of check out our booth vendors and stuff. The first race starts at 8:35, and the 5K starts at 9 o'clock. Kids runs at 10 a.m. And you can register online at www.rocktheblock.run.org. And the title sponsor is Spotlight Strategies. And you can check us out on the web. It's spotlight-strategies.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Rock the Block Run is too. So you can catch us in Facebook, Instagram, and Spotlight Strategies is on LinkedIn as well.
Very good. Well, her name is Erin Pennington, and she is the head of the Rock the Block Run. And you heard the details there, and we will put all those details at our website, which is allinjohnsoncounty.com. Erin Pennington, thanks for being our guest today at All In Johnson County. Thanks again for joining us here on the All In Johnson County podcast. Special thanks to our guest, Erin Pennington from the Rock the Block Run. You can find her at rockthebblockrun.org, and details about the event, which is happening April 27th, are in the show notes below, as is information about the All In Johnson County podcast. This is the podcast where we look to celebrate everything good about the quality of life in Johnson County, Indiana, about the people and the places and the events. So you can find out details about that by going to allinjohnsoncounty.com, or you can just email me at brad@drbradmiller.com, and it helps us a lot if you subscribe to the podcast and hit that notification bell so you can get connected to the next event. If you'd like to find out more how your event or your business can be featured on the All In Johnson County podcast, reach out to me, email me, or you can even call me at 317-389-0100. Good to be with you. We'll see you next time down the road here in the All In Johnson County podcast.